pay their fees. We're going out and inspecting the houses and everything. My staff does meet on a weekly basis, but if somebody wants to come pay us a visit, I would just suggest and encourage them to give me a call so that I can make sure that I set the time aside, because I don't want to shortchange anybody.
So if an organization wanted to become a part of your organization,
Yes.
You mentioned the fee, and tell me what the fee is and what they get for that fee.
Yeah, so the membership association is MSAR, Maryland State Association for Recovery Residences.
Okay.
And there's a membership fee of $100, and then there's an additional fee per structure. So if you are a supportive housing provider and you're interested in joining, you would pay $100. And if you have 4 houses, you would pay $25 a piece. That additional funds covers us coming out and inspecting your houses. All right.
What do you get for the $100?
Basically, you get membership in the association. You get somebody that's advocating at the state and at the federal level and at the city level for resources for supportive housing. And then you're also getting, for all intents and purposes, a good housekeeping seal, because mainstream systems want to provide resources to supportive housing, but because we're all over the spectrum and they don't have the capacity to go out and determine this is a good program, this one's not. They're looking for an entity that basically can assure them that there's some accountability and responsibility within the supportive housing.
So you are a go-between the providers for the individuals who have the houses.
Yeah.
And you're a provider. You're a go-between, a middleman between those who have the houses and those who want to refer people.
Well, the state had a need. They needed to know how they could ensure or feel comfortable that if they were going to put a client or recommend a client to a housing program and they were going to send resources, i.e. money with it, that it was a good program. So the state is not necessarily going to give us money to give to the providers. What we're going to do is we're going to create a preferred vendors list. We're going to provide a list, a directory of supportive housing programs that are a member of our group that basically tells the state if they're a member of MSAR, then they are a program that you want to invest and put money in.
Okay. And what about this, referring clients to those houses?
You know what? Somebody can go on our website, and I gave you the address again. It's www.m-rocc.org.
Right.
And if you look up at the top, there's a tab. It says who we are, and then there's a tab that says M-SARR. And as you go over these tabs, the drop-down menu comes up. And so when you go over the MSAR one, if you click down, it tells you a little bit about who MSAR is, what we do, our policies and procedures. And then it also, you can click on and identify those programs that are members of MSAR. And you can look at their houses, because we provide pictures where the houses are located. Not just pictures of the outside, but actually we take pictures on the inside of our houses. What we don't do is identify specific locations, and that's only because we're not trying to put a bullseye on the back of our providers.
Okay.
But if you contact the owner, they will tell you where the house is located.
I want to kind of shift gears here.
Sure.
And I want to talk a little bit about the personal aspect of being in recovery, because I think that both you and myself utilize our positions in the community to carry a message of hope, and to let people know that there's a way out. But now, in this whole process, you and I both have come from a background of addiction.
Yes.
And in that whole process, it's possible for us to lose sight of where we've come from if we don't stay connected. And I think that we need to stay connected to the same source that got us from dope to hope.
Yes.
The same source that brought us from darkness to light.
Yes.
No matter how well we're doing today, we must still maintain our own recovery. Am I right about that?
You have to stay grounded. I mean, there's so many traps that can trip you up along the way.
Yes.
They talk about charismatic leadership, where people begin to identify you with some kind of movement or something like that, and your head gets big as I don't know what. or you live vicariously, you live your recovery vicariously through the people you help. So if you're telling people to go to meetings and they're doing, but you're not going to meetings your own self,
Right.
not a good thing.
Right.
You know, you have to expand your support network. You have to be able to, or you have to give people permission to call you on your stuff.
Right.
And then, you know, it's kind of hard to say, I think it's a good idea if you go to meetings if you aren't going to meetings. So you model for folks also.
Yes, yeah, and what one of the things that reminds me of, and that is, by me being a pastor and a shepherd, and I shepherd people, I need to be in a position where I am shepherded.
Yes.
You understand? I mean, I have a pastor. I have a spiritual father. I have someone that I'm going to for spiritual information. In the recovery arena, I have a sponsor. I work the steps. I go to meetings on a regular basis. It may not sound good. It may not be popular. But all I know is that those who forget are doomed to repeat. Are you with me? I've seen it happen over and over and over again.
You can have all these tools, but
Yeah.
still have good days and bad days. You can still have all of these tools, and some days you feel like just not getting up out of the bed, because a lot of times we'll deal with the spiritual and we'll deal with the addiction part, but we won't deal with the medical part of it.
Yes.
So depression is very, very real for people in recovery. And then